Hey guys, I'm TJ, and I just made this Zombie Ate My Neighbor clone using Grok 3 and 5 prompts. See how the game plays first, and then we'll go through exactly the prompts that I start the game, and you'll get this start screen, start button here. Click start, and you'll be able to use your arrow key to move your player around the screen. For the blue players are your zombies. In the upper hand corner, we have our score and our health. So you're not just evading these zombies, you actually can shoot too. So now I'm going to use the space bar. Whatever direction I'm facing, I'll be able to shoot zombies. Space bar, one bullet. Gotta work hard to kill these zombies. So that's the general idea of the game. This is essentially the game mechanics behind the game Zombies Ate My Sega Genesis. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these things kill me. As these zombies character, there's collision protection, and it lowers the player health. So got two more. I'm resisting, and we've lost the game. And there pops up our game over. Turn to title menu button. So click that, it goes back to the start menu, which and we can still see the game over back. I'm sure one more prompt we could get rid of that, but this game functions and you could play it on a loop continuously. So start the game again, and all of our characters are set and we're back to school. Got all of our health and our set to zero again, and player dies. We'll turn to the title screen. So that's the game. Created it in 5 prompts. Fresh. Go over to Grok. Here was my first prompt. You can right here pause the video, read it. Essentially, I just asked it to zombies ate my neighbor's clone. I went on actually another large language model to help me construct the prompt, or at least give me some ideas of what I could put in the prompt to make sure that I could achieve this single prompt. Now, I was able to make something that was working with the prompt, but like I said, I did this in 5 prompts, so that means that I added a few more adjustments when we created the application. So it did give me a working application from the start, but I just decided to make some feel a little better. So just from that single prompt, it gave me like a whole application here, one file application and .html file. So fills it out, and then it kind of walks me through exactly how it does, how it's doing, what the different mechanics, and names out specific variables from the code that it just. And obviously, I continue to prompt this the second one. Walk me through implementing this step by step. So he gave me the code, and I decided, hey, let me ask this to help me code exactly how I set up my environment, which will just a text editor. I used a Visual Studio Code, which we'll hop over to. But it just continued with setting this up and walking you through how to do it. So really straightforward and helpful, and extremely explains these things extremely detailed way that was. Uh, uh, it added some more code to HTML file here as I continue to prompt it. We had some more script. This is like the step by step. So it took the code that it wrote in the first prompt response and kind of broke it down into steps. So I really liked how it did this. It actually gave me some pseudocode to put in where the script goes first, just to make sure the application was working properly, and I had put the code in the proper place. And then we went from there and we modified that code. So uh, right here, it tells you to update this script section. Entire script here, and it was adding to this in iterative steps so that it was burdening me with a whole bunch of code like, hey, slap this entire thing into space, and if you miss it by a hair, it's not going to work. So continue to go through and follow these simple step-by-step instructions. Our first, here's our first prompt where we actually needed to make some adjustments. So I need to make some adjustments to this game. I'd like for the speed to remain after a game over. Don't increase movement game is started after a game over. Also, I'd like for the player to be able to any direction on the canvas that they are pointing. Let's make those changes. As you can see, the game created something that worked, but it missing things that were a part of a more fully fleshed out game. So it created something that's kind of like a minimal viable product, I would say, but then you kind of add little tools, extras, and things like that. I asked it to be able to shoot in different directions, one error, I guess you could call it a bug more than an error because the game continued, but it was kind of like it was doubling the speed of the player and zombies every time the game. That is that is true, and you can go down here. It does explain. Yeah, here we go. So prevent speed increase after game over. The issue here is that the spawn zombies function set interval keeps running and spawning zombies even after a game, potentially stacking multiple intervals if you start the game times. This doesn't directly affect speed. It make the game feel faster. Zombies player speed itself is already reset correctly in game. Clear the interval on game over. So sounds like there was something already set, and then when the game went game over and set the speed again, it was adding to. So not intentional, but the fact that we were able to articulate that there was an issue occurring and actually kind of explain how noticing when it was happening. This is all, kind of like bug testing, iterative testing. The great part about large language models, while you don't have to write, simple, boring code anymore, you do have to test this stuff iteratively, extensive, not changing to or adding the correct thing, being more specific and the more about these technical, game mechanics. I think the better. So that was one of our prompts. Go over to and again, these are just prompts that I used once the game was really already functioning. I just kind of wanted to make it even more polished. I did this all in maybe 10 minutes. The sticks did not work once I started a game after a game over event. Player speed is double, and so is the zombies. However, you are coding this wrong and changing the player speed code that increases player speed. So tried to have it fix it with one prompt, and again back to the testing, prompting times that you have actually made accordance with. So I sent in that prompt, and step by step, let's see if it actually gave us a good response. I didn't read a chunk of text. At this point, I almost don't read any of this stuff. I just kind of noticed it my first time using Grok. So I read through it this time, and players speed doubling after a game over intentional provided. There's player speed set or zombie speed. Their initial values beyond their initial values. 5 for the player, 1 for zombies. However, the problem likely stems from the game loop function not stopping properly, causing multiple frames to stack, effectively, effectively double the update rate. Make both the player and the zombies appear faster. Update is called more second. More often called more often per second. Difficult. Anyhow, uh, it goes through the code, gives me a script to put in. After that, the game worked great, and then really just another that I went and tried to tackle, which go game over screen and then give me second timer for the start a new button to actually be active. I noticed that it was taking multiple clicks to actually start the new game, and it was just having some instead of having an automated timer type of set, decided to swap that out and ask for a button that was just return to title menu. I wish it did a little bit better job at resetting to title menu. I wanted it to actually fully refresh the application and take us back to title screen that doesn't have any overlays in the background that show game over. Yeah, so uh, one more prompt and probably get there, like I kind of mentioned earlier. But did that. We had one more prompt. Uh, I have to click start a new game a few times. I think this is what I was just mentioning. Oh, that's right. Okay, so quickly go over back to them. So in the upper left-hand corner, there's score and health. Once we game over, this was getting drawn outside the canvas area. So normally you want your score and your health inside the canvas area, but it was actually halfway out of the R E H and poor in health, but I didn't want it to out of this. So that's what this prompt was for, and it did fix it. I recall. There, I asked it to fix an entirely another issue. So, one prompt fixing, always gonna love when that happens. So, went on to another issue. I just know that I can continue along that. I think the next one I'm probably gonna ask for how to implement sprites into. I would love to personalize this game. I've seen plenty of examples of Grok making games like this with simple dots and collision detection, things like that. But love to see personalized version, anything, any type of skin or that it could. I guess case specific. Kind of hard to see a beauty of just squares and dots and little. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate you all watching. Try to do stuff like this. Please comment below, like, subscribe, whatever. Thank you for watching.